The Virgin Group is founded by Richard Branson. Virgin is one of the world's most enticing brands, having ventured into a wide range of industries ranging from travel to telecoms, health to banking, and music to leisure. But how did he get here? What made him well known? Stay tuned as we unravel this story. Who exactly is Richard Branson? Mr. Branson calls himself a tie-loathing explorer, philanthropist, and troublemaker. He is a firm believer in making ideas a reality. His Twitter bio says he is otherwise known as Dr. Yes at Virgin. A man looking for excitement and new experiences in his professional and personal life would fit this definition perfectly. Richard Charles Nicholas Branson, the future millionaire, was born in 1950 in the county of Surrey, which is located in southern England. Because of his dyslexia, he had difficulties recognizing speech sounds and understanding how those sounds link to letters and words. As a result, he had trouble succeeding academically. He decided to leave school for good when he was 16 years old, but he attributes his imagination and creative thinking to his learning disorder, which helped him become successful as an entrepreneur. If I didn't have dyslexia, I never would have gotten to where I am now. Dyslexia has the potential to be a significant asset in the working world. I've always let my imagination run wild and have thought creatively about how I could make my big ambitions materialize, he said in a blog post on the issue in January of this year. I've always let my imagination run wild and have thought creatively about how I could make my big dreams happen. Next up, Branson's teenage entrepreneurship. Branson overcame dyslexia as a kid and began to display his entrepreneurial abilities early. Born into a middle-class English family, he exhibited innate intellect as well as a competitive drive on the field. Growing Christmas trees and rearing birds were among his earliest commercial pursuits. Chafing under authority, Branson left boarding school at the age of 16 and wrote about it in his autobiography, Losing My Virginity. His teacher allegedly informed him at the time, "Branson, I believe you will either go to prison or become a millionaire." Branson established Student, a youth-oriented magazine, in 1966. Branson interviewed John Lennon, Mick Jagger, Vanessa Redgrave, and other luminaries as the editor. In addition, he founded the Student Advisory Center, a non-profit referral service for problematic adolescents. Local authorities charged the institution with obscenity in 1970 because it used the phrase venereal sickness in its promotional materials. Branson was successful in having the charges dismissed, establishing a precedent for his future clashes with authorities. Moving on, more details on Branson's road to riches. After selling the Student Advisory Center to a larger firm in 1970, Branson founded Virgin Mail, a mail-order record company. The next year, he built a retail store, which by 1972 had grown into a 14-outlet network throughout the United Kingdom. Branson avoided prosecution by paying an out-of-court settlement after being charged with dodging purchase taxes on import record sales. With $90,000 in penalties and bills, the sober Branson expanded his retail business and acquired a tiny castle in Wales, which he converted into a recording studio. His next aim was to start his own record label. In 1973, Branson founded Virgin Records with his cousin Simon Draper as creative director and Nick Powell as business manager. Mike Oldfield's album Tubular Bells, which dropped the U.S. charts in 1974 and sold over 13 million copies, was one of the label's earliest releases. Virgin had unexpectedly become one of the most successful independent record labels in the UK. Despite his reputation as a hippie capitalist dabbling in business, Branson was an excellent negotiator from the outset, negotiating long contracts with his musicians, gaining international rights to recordings, and retaining copyrights for as long as feasible. Following that, Branson's biggest adventures. As soon as he had made his millions, the competition to set new records began in earnest. Forbes magazine claims that in 1985, Mr. Branson was rescued while attempting to complete a voyage of the Atlantic Ocean in the shortest amount of time. The following year, though, he broke the record for the quickest time across the Atlantic Ocean with his powerboat, Virgin Atlantic Challenger 2. In addition, the business magnate, estimated to have a net worth of approximately $5.9 billion, has traveled from England to France in an amphibious car and scaled Mont Blanc, the highest peak in Europe. As a pastime, he goes kite surfing very often. In 1991, Mr. Branson and Per Lindström, a Swedish aeronautical engineer, adventurer, and entrepreneur, broke a new record for the longest distance traveled in a hot air balloon by crossing the Pacific Ocean. Their journey was 10,782 kilometers long. At a ceremony held at Buckingham Palace in London in March of 2000, Sir Richard Branson was knighted for his services to entrepreneurship. Next up, Branson's challenging exploits and risky ventures. Virgin Records stalled in the mid-1970s following a promising start. Branson could not sign major musicians such as the Rolling Stones, so he relied on Oldfield sales. Virgin joined pistols in 1977, exacerbating the situation. Despite his terrible reputation, Branson sold 100,000 copies of God Save the Queen in 1 week. Virgin's breakout record was Culture Club's 1982 LP, Boy George's Celebrity, helped the band sell 1.4 million CDs the following year. Both Phil Collins and Human League enjoyed success with Virgin. The label quadrupled in 4 years. Branson's fortune went into Virgin Vision, Virgin Games, Virgin Rags, Vanson Property, and several London nightclubs. Randolph Fields, an attorney, volunteered to invest in a new transatlantic airline in February 1984. Despite his business colleagues' reservations, Branson was initially interested. Branson's vision was not Fields' all-business class airline, but a low-cost carrier to compete with People Express. Draper, other Virgin employees, and Branson's lenders debated the idea. Branson's Virgin Atlantic Airways had its debut flight between London's Gatwick Airport and Newark, New Jersey on June 22, 1984. Virgin Atlantic grew steadily in the 1980s, expanding to Los Angeles and Tokyo, and attempting to connect with Heathrow Airport. Branson promoted his company's services to customers on flights. He pretended to be a flight attendant to serve refreshments. Moving on, more details concerning Branson's ventures. Branson began his media career by performing promotional stunts and dangerous behaviors to promote the airline. During a transatlantic speed record attempt in 1985, his powerboat Virgin Atlantic Challenger collapsed off the coast of Ireland. A year later, the Virgin Atlantic Challenger 2 broke Branson's record. Branson and Per Lindstrand almost died in the Irish Sea following a transatlantic balloon expedition in 1987. They attempted the first trans-Pacific hot air balloon flight in 1991, but were trapped on a frozen Canadian lake. Such audacious ventures bolstered Branson's reputation as a fearless risk-taker. Branson's experiences were not all profitable. In 1985, Branson went public, garnering 100,000 share applications. Even as his fortune grew, Branson loathed working with the board of directors. Before Virgin went public, I was confident in every action we made, he remarked. I was concerned about making quick decisions and wondered if every choice should be vetted and recorded in a board meeting. Branson argued with the board about paying dividends rather than reinvesting profits in new ventures. Branson bought his company when the stock market crashed in 1987. He announced the management buyout of Virgin in July 1988 and began looking for joint venture partners. These partners aided in the establishment of a network of music-focused Virgin megastores across Europe, North America, and Japan. In 1988, Branson founded Virgin Classics. Finally, Branson's style of freewheeling and unique corporate structure. Virgin formed a separate corporate structure in the 1980s. Branson appeared to have boundless power with his continual stream of Virgin firms and connections. Although they were all related, these businesses managed to remain distinct. After inspecting Branson's 200 buildings, 200 switchboards, and everything else, an outside accounting company would conclude, your financial condition is precarious. Employees of both large enterprises and small firms agreed that the latter is a more uninteresting location to spend one's working hours. A small company might create a new type of energy, making someone feel important. Branson conducted his business from his residence in London and the Caribbean. He kept track of all the new ventures, assigned management, and resolved any issues. Branson continues to run Virgin's aviation and tourism operations. As Branson's economic empire grew, he maintained casual connections. We don't hold meetings, he said to Forbes' David Sheff. People have government jobs for reasons other than income. You should probably wait until the next meeting if they have a firm recommendation. Virgin offers a wide range of mobile phone options. Please let me know whether you think I should go through with your idea. Branson was committed to his employees. He urged several staff to take sabbaticals to avoid layoffs. He has a reputation as a great talent spotter inside the Virgin Group. He elevated a Virgin Atlantic flight attendant to lead Europe's most prominent wedding company. Branson was well known for visiting several departments and taking comprehensive notes about Virgin's difficulties in a notebook. Well, what are your thoughts on this? Please leave us a comment. Well, that marks the end of our video for today. We hope you liked it. On your way out, make sure to hit that subscribe button for more content like this in the future. Thanks for watching.